If you are here for another year in review or me telling you to make a vision board, you are in the wrong place. Those rituals are fine, and I have clients who love to do them, and I even love to make a little vision board on occasion. But ultimately, those things just make you feel productive. This episode is for people who want to command market share and scale their businesses in the new year and set themselves up to do that effectively, not necessarily do these little year-end rituals that feel good, but maybe don't set us actually on the path to achieving those things. So the annual planning tactics, rituals, strategies that are sort of mainstream really do keep you small and ultimately dependent on your effort in the new year, which is not what we want when we're scaling. Because when you do these things, you're reviewing and setting goals based on this past year's results and capacity, right? You're doing a year in review. You're reviewing what you just did. You are setting a vision board. You're doing that vision from your current mental state. It's keeping you tied to this year's evidence and not next year's delusional, audacious goal setting. So as an elite CEO, your strategy for wrapping up this year really can't be completely about reflection. It has to be about clearing a path and tuning up your vehicle to hit the gas for the future. So if you want a quantum leap in the next year, your job is to create the environment now for that to happen. So we're going to shed the fluff this episode and focus on the 3 structural capacity generating moves that ensure you enter the new year as a leader and not a follower. This is the difference between making a New Year's resolution and creating an actual strategy to achieve what you want. So the first thing I want you to do is not a year in review. It's not make a vision board. I want you to do a capacity audit. Everyone tells you to time block, get a planner, work on time management, delegate your tasks. Where did you struggle with your time management this past year? That's not advice for a CEO because ultimately it's managing labor. And as we've discussed in previous episodes, CEOs are not labor. Instead, an elite CEO is going to manage their capacity. So your goal is to build a system that does the work, not to find extra hours to do more work. Your goal is to build a system inside your business that does the work for you. And then you manage the system, the business machine, not to rearrange your schedule and be maximum efficiency and cram every last minute full of stuff. So instead of time management, it's capacity management. Your goal is to increase your own capacity to handle the demands of your goals, not to manage your time in order to cram more tasks into your calendar. Scaling is not about doing more. So why would we worry about time management if we're not going to be doing more? It's about creating something bigger. It's about being more. So the purpose of the capacity audit is not to find more time. It's to identify and eliminate the tasks that the future version of you, who has your New Year's goals, is no longer doing. And this is what mindset coaches mean, by the way, when they say showing up as the future version of you. What are you holding on to that the future version of you who has everything you want that you're trying to create would never in a million years entertain? What are you desperately gripping onto? What are you doing? What are you not doing? What are you settling for that version of you would never? For the purposes of the capacity audit, we are talking business operations wise, your offers, your tasks, your systems, your team structure, but maybe that's a relationship for you. Maybe it's a belief or a program you're running subconsciously or consciously that future you would never. Are you investing in mentorship for where you are now and what investment feels comfortable now, or where you're going? Would future you move the way you are moving? And be honest with yourself. This could be something as small as something that I had to really work on was staying out of internet comment sections. Because every time I would scroll a comment section, sure, some people are funny and you miss a joke here and there, but I would not feel good whenever I came up for air out of a comment section, especially off of a viral video. That is not energy I needed to be letting into my field. It could be something as simple as that. So here is your 3-step capacity audit. Here's how you're actually going to execute this, okay? Number 1, identify the one task, and this is in your business, but again, this could be a relationship, something you're doing in your personal life, But in your business, identify the one task that consumed most of your CEO level attention, but generated less than 10% of your revenue. What is the one thing that demanded the most of your attention, but created the least amount of revenue in your business? The very first thing you are going to do is create a plan right now to either hire a specialist to do that for you, build a system to eliminate your involvement. Those are your two options. No partial delegation, no keeping this on your plate for now. Truly your only choice. You're spending your time and your attention and your energy on stuff that is not making you money. So when we figure out what those things are, we have to get it off your plate, period. No other option. We're not partially delegating the task, but keeping you responsible for the outcome. We're not doing that. Hire somebody to do it for you or build a system so that you no longer have to do it at all. And then once you have those hours back, preferably before the end of the month, because this is usually something you could do pretty quickly, preferably before the end of the month, once you have those hours back, any of those hours that you gain from eliminating that task go immediately to your 2 CEO jobs, not some other little task that maybe might make you more money. Your 2 CEO jobs, building the system and leading the team. That's it. This audit is where you start embodying the leader of your business and the designer of your business and life, and not just getting stuck in the weeds of where do I find more time to do more tasks? Oh, this is a low value task, so I'm going to trade it for a $500 an hour task. That's not the vibe. We're getting it off your plate so the system can do the work and you can step into the role of CEO, because scaling your business is going to demand that. So in the mastermind, my Unrelatable mastermind, we use our operations intensive to actually do this. So we pinpoint the specific constraint that my clients are experiencing. Where is their time going and how does that translate to revenue for the business? And then we're going to dedicate time to hiring the right specialist or designing an SOP that immediately removes that task off their plate for Q1. We're doing this right now. And since Unrelatable also includes 10 hours of implementation time with my team, sometimes we just offload that directly to my team and they have my team build out the SOP and the hiring criteria or whatever else for them, so they no longer have to touch it day one immediately, which is pretty sweet. Once we do the capacity audit, we have to look at your offers and where there is a constraint in your offer flow. Most entrepreneurs feel the need to add value and availability to justify their high ticket prices, especially if you're a high ticket coach, consultant, and service provider. And this stems from a belief that effort is what matters and that people are buying time and effort and labor. If you are working with premium clients do not buy time and effort and labor. They buy results. They buy friction-free leverage. They buy ease. They buy convenience. They don't actually care that it only took you 2 hours to do the thing. They care that they didn't have to do it and they got what they wanted. In fact, for the premium buyer, if you could wave a magic wand and poof, they could have exactly what they wanted instantaneously, they would pay you more, not less. So adding features, adding time, adding availability and access to your offers is not the move. That comes from competing for attention from mass buyers who price shop and value every offer based on how much of your time they're getting. They gotta squeeze every last drop out of the offer, because if they're not, then it's not worth paying you that amount. They're worried about how they're watching your pockets. They're worried about how much you're getting out of this deal. And if they don't feel like you did enough to earn that money, then it's overpriced. However, the premium buyer is always looking at what they're getting out of it, out of the offer, and valuing it accordingly. They value transformation, the movement, the certainty behind your solution. The premium buyer would pay extra for the magic wand treatment. The mass market buyer would say, well, it's only going to take you 2 seconds, so why is it so expensive? No, thank you. Those buyers can stay this year. The industry leader, the elite CEO, knows the offer's value is in solving the client's highest value problems with precision, speed, convenience, ease. So to command high ticket prices, you don't actually need to add features. You don't need to add access. You don't need to add time. You need to eliminate the constraints on your client's path to success. You need to figure out what is keeping them from getting results and make it better and faster. This allows you to command double, triple your current prices because you're selling the solution to the problem to somebody who is willing to pay for the speed and the convenience of solving it right now. So here's how you think about this. What was the block that you had to personally fix for your last 10 close proximity clients? For example, if you're a fitness coach, clients might know how to work out, but their meal prep or grocery store system sabotages their results every week. That might be the constraint that's keeping them from getting results or getting great results, right? For a relationship coach, couples know what to say to each other, but their connection is sabotaged by their incompatible schedules. For a social media manager, clients might love your strategy, but their internal team structure and approval bottlenecks are killing the implementation of the strategy. This is one we dealt with several years ago at Coffee Date Media, my marketing agency. Clients loved the strategy, but we were discovering that their approval timelines were killing our ability to actually execute it. So what we do is, because the highest goal is that the client get the result they came for, and premium clients will pay handsomely for that. This is how you build an incredible reputation and a network of referrals, plus results you can then sell from because clients are getting results. That is the number one thing, the number one goal. So what has to happen is you have to modify the offer. You don't add more to the offer or increase access. You modify the offer or add another offer to it to sell the elimination of that constraint as a non-negotiable feature. So if there's something inside your offers that is keeping your clients from getting results, whether it's part of your offer or not, it is your job to solve that. For the marketing agency, it wasn't our fault that the client's approval timelines were too slow for the implementation of the strategy. But if we wanted our clients to get good results, we needed to solve that for them. So since client approvals were the slowdown in the implementation and them getting results, we created internal processes to, number one, give the clients more time to approve so that they could go at their pace. Number two, limit the number of approvals they were doing at a time and streamline the approval process. So we created our 2-tiered approval system. So the clients would approve the topic calendar first. We would then request or create the media we needed to actually create the posts. And then they would approve the posts themselves afterwards. So they weren't last minute suggesting changes to the actual calendar and going, oh, we should post this instead of that. And that was what was holding us up in the first place. Instead, they approved the topics first, and all they had to do to get the posts out was approve the posts as written. They were simply a final approving post, which was so much faster. For the fitness coach example, build meal delivery into the package and price for it. Because remember, now you're making the results easier, you're making them more certain, you're making them inevitable because you're solving the thing that keeps people from getting results in the first place. So whatever it is you need to do to modify the offer to remove the constraint, that's what we do. And this design shifts in your offer suite allows you to sell certainty. You're no longer selling a way to do it or even your process to do it. You're selling the only way to guarantee the result because you have surgically removed the known failure points in the process. You're sniffing them out like a dog that works for TSA. And you are surgically removing those constraints from the process, ensuring that your clients get results. And this is an incredibly important part of becoming an elite CEO because as the CEO of your business, your job is vision. Your job is improvement, polishing of your business at all times. Your job is to make everything better. Offers and your client results are number one in a service-based business, period. So forget about the vision board for a second. Was there something in your offer suite that kept your clients from getting results, whether it was your fault or not to begin with, but can we solve for it? That alone is going to allow you to double or triple your rates. It's going to get your clients better results. They're going to start referring all of their friends to you, which means more inbound clients. Clients are going to come in and stay forever because they're getting incredible results. And it gives you more results to use in your marketing. And it gives you a unique angle because you're the only one who has solved this problem. So during our group coaching calls inside the mastermind and inside the one-on-one support that's included, we use the Elevate scaling framework, which I have mentioned before, to diagnose the constraints inside the offer suite because every offer suite has them. Because unless 100% of your clients are getting results, you have a constraint in your offer suite that's keeping them from getting results. Again, whether it's your doing or not, it's there. We meticulously design and refine the offers to be able to command 2x, 3x the prices and actually attract the premium clients who want to pay for certainty and speed. And now, Only now at step number 3 are we getting to goal setting. And this is why it's so important to do this correctly as a CEO, because goal setting is not the first thing you should be doing. You have to be clearing the path and fixing constraints before we can look ahead to the future. And here's the big mindset shift I want you to have this year as you are setting your goals for your business. Most people, and you will know if this is you, most people will think, okay, well, this year I made X amount, so I want to make triple that next year. And that's their goal for the year, right? You set a revenue target and that's your goal for your business. Setting a revenue target, I'm going to hit 1.2 million this year. That's a middle-class mindset. Sorry to let you know, because it focuses on cash flow, not asset ownership. Wealth comes from owning valuable, potentially saleable, preferably cash flowing assets, not from income. So I actually saw someone the other day, very well known in the industry, post that $1 million in revenue doesn't make you a millionaire. Cash in the bank does. Middle class mindset. Because by the way, that's not actually what makes you a millionaire. If your business is cash flowing $1 million and it's not saleable, that $1 million business is worth nothing. If your business is cash flowing 7+ figures per year and you are keeping that cash in the bank, that is irresponsible stewardship of money. You're not smart. You're not a millionaire. You are losing money every year to inflation because you have stacked that cash in the bank. Owning assets like a business that are worth 7+ figures in total, minus your liabilities, obviously makes you a millionaire. And I would know because I was a millionaire by the time I was 30, before my business was making even 6 figures. So in addition to the revenue goal, which you can absolutely have a revenue goal, there is nothing wrong with a revenue goal for your business. It's a fun number a lot of the time. It keeps us moving forward. It's something to get excited about. Those are fun. And cash does give you options. I'm not saying cash is not a great thing to have. Make an annual goal in addition to the revenue goal that is a quantifiable structural asset that increases the valuation of your business, independent of your time. Because again, if that 7+ figure business relies on you to show up, it's not worth anything to anybody else. When you want to retire, that business closes down. It's worth nothing now. You want to retire, you want to sell it, you don't want to be on Zoom calls when you're 65, your business is worth 0. So in addition to the revenue goal, which again are fine, super fun, we have to create a goal that further turns your business into a cash flowing asset over which you have ownership. Because remember, wealth comes from ownership of valuable assets. So we have to turn your business into that asset, not a goal of money that you'll actually have to work for, but turning your business into a cash flowing asset that you own. So translate your revenue goal into a structural asset. So instead of, I'm going to hit 1 million in revenue just by itself, I'm going to finalize and trademark the Elevate scaling framework and document 100% of all my client-facing processes into my IP vault, making the business 50% more self-sufficient, meaning I'm not the one who has to do the work. The goal of the new year is to increase the valuation of your business asset, and or if you don't want to sell your business, or you're not thinking of passing it down, or you don't care if it disappears if you want to retire, the other option is make a goal to use your cash flow from your business to acquire other valuable cash flowing assets, real estate, stakes in other businesses, investments. The idea is not to just stack cash in the bank. The idea is to create wealth. And that means turning your business into an asset that you own, and preferably or using the cash from your business to make investments that grow your overall wealth. You are really smart and capable. And if you're here, I know this. I don't attract people who are not smart. My vocabulary is way too big for that. So I know who I attract into my world. So the challenge isn't so much a strategy challenge as it is a mindset one, because these 3 moves are not easy. They're going to require you to shift how you think in a lot of ways. They require you to let go of the low leverage work that gives you the illusion of control. I work with a lot of type A's. Having control feels really good. Being involved in everything, earning it feels really good for us type A's, because we feel like a good person when we've put in the work and we've earned it. But that's exactly the opposite of what a CEO does. The CEO doesn't do the labor. The CEO creates the system and leads the team. Making these 3 shifts that we talk about today lets you step fully into the role of the designer and the visionary of your life and business. And the truth is this, you can't be an elite CEO operating in a middle-class plan and a middle-class mindset. So if you were about to make a vision board and set a revenue goal for your business and stare at the $1 million number every day for the next 365 days and think that that's going to scale you, I'm sorry to say it won't. These structural moves are your entry fee to the next level of your business. This level of capacity auditing, constraint removal, asset valuation, it requires a high level, really customized strategy for you because everybody's version of this is going to look different. Your customer is different. Your offers are different. What you want your life to look like is different. What you want to do with your business in 20 years is different. This is the kind of work that only happens in a highly curated, highly supported room. Inside Unrelatable, we don't just teach you the moves, we execute them with you. This is not a room where it's a huge mastermind and there's 20 people in there and everybody's talking over each other and you don't get any support. This is a business partnership, an executive level partnership. If you're ready to elevate beyond this year's results and constraints and commit to building an asset and generational wealth with your business, the application for the Unrelatable Mastermind is the next step. The link is in the show notes. Unrelatable is open now, but it will not be for the entirety of 2026. Once we fill up, applications will close. Do not let that happen to you if this is your next move. That's today's episode, guys.